This is Lance and I'm back with a new video, and we're doing something cool. Time to time I get the chance to work on some stuff offsite. A lot of things offsite. And this particular case, I'm doing a Jeep Gladiator Hawk trail mate. So this one's pretty cool because we're going to take out this Jeep Gladiator 8.4 screen, which I believe is 8.4, and we're going to go upgrade it to something larger. So this is a basic car, this is a basic Jeep Gladiator. It has steering wheel controls on it. Here on the back side you can see, so it's got steering wheel controls, it's got the stock radio in it. You can see it's got some cool stuff. The Jeep, this is touchscreen, and from time to time customers always ask me, hey, I want to upgrade my radio, but I want to get crazy with it. And I don't do a lot of radios, but when I do them, I always like to do something that's different. I don't want to just plug in your basic radio into a car. So we're gonna go to something new that's really cool. A company called Vinland released a radio for these Jeeps, so the Jeep Wrangler and the Jeep Gladiator. This is awesome because there's a lot of Jeep people out there. So let me show you what's cool about this. So let's talk about this 9-inch screen. So it's from Vinland, brand new manufacturer on the market. It is a 9-inch, they call it Division 9. It custom fits car stereo for Jeep Wrangler 2018 to 2023. Also Gladiator from 2020 to 2023, which is pretty cool because that's a pretty good blanket of Jeeps and Gladiators on the market. It has wireless CarPlay built in and Android. It also has over-the-air updates for the unit itself. So that's pretty cool because you don't have to necessarily have to download anything crazy. You can go to, if you have Wi-Fi connected to the device, which I didn't mention that yet. It's got Wi-Fi. It has the ability to connect to your home Wi-Fi or sync to your phone, and you can update the unit over the air. It also has dual mics, and what that means is there's a mic built onto it, and also has an external mic. We'll talk about that too. Drive chat AI, which allows you to do some cool stuff. I haven't played with it too much, but it's pretty cool things from what I can see. The unit also has HDMI input, so you could take your phone or anything, a video source that has HDMI out, plug into the device, and it'll play right through the screen itself. It also has a front and rear camera. That's the beginning. So it has a front and rear camera capabilities. It has 4G compatibility. So if you take a SIM card and put it into the device, you can actually use the unit as a direct connection to internet, so you can do everything on screen from there. You don't have to tether your phone. Some people do that, or even use a hotspot. It doesn't matter either way. It also has a 34-band EQ built in. It has built-in AI-powered chat GPT. Tongue twister. It also, since the unit has Wi-Fi on it, you could, like I said, tether your phone to it. You could stream Netflix, YouTube, and Tubi. It also has iData Link Maestro, which means that in the box there's an iData Link Maestro controller in it that allows you to do a lot of cool stuff. We'll see that, and I'll walk you through that kind of cool stuff. It has the Qualcomm Snapdragon chip in it, which is a very, very sought after chipset when it comes down to it. It's the latest, greatest technology that goes into a radio. And as I say, this is Android based. So what's cool about that is that you could download anything you want. So that's why you can do Netflix, YouTube, Tubi, video games, anything that you can download from the App Store, from Google's App Store, or Android, I should say Motorola, or whatever the case is. Anything you can download from the App Store, it'll allow you to download on this device. It also has built-in Bluetooth for those guys who just like to stream music and don't necessarily want to do CarPlay or Android. You can do Bluetooth, audio, and phone calls on the unit itself. It's kind of cool. So here's what you see on the box. You got the iData Link Maestro information on it. So you got the, if you have like a, I want to say this is a K40, but I think it's actually, yeah, it's an Escort, I should say. So if you have an Escort radar and you want to connect it to this device, and it's the right device, as long as you have the proper parts that allow you to do that. This is also some of the things that shows on the side, where you have like the things that are driven by iData Link, like the door openings, the airtight repair sensors, the AC controls, and the actual sensors. As long as your vehicle's got those on it from the factory, it will seamlessly connect long as the connection is through iData link, it'll give it on screen, which is pretty cool. What else is on this box? So you're going to have a 1280 to 720 QLED screen. So what does that mean to the normal person? Having that type of screen, having this high resolution on the screen gives you more vivid colors. The unit looks a little bit more vibrant. It's really, when it comes down to it, it looks really good, like a really good tablet. It also has the ability to do a dash cam, which you can see here on the Jeep, and a rear camera, which you see on the back. This is not necessarily a rear camera itself, but an actual camera that goes on the actual mirror, something like that. And when you have those plugged in, and these are actually through Vinland, they have the ability to actually record. So you don't have to have an external dash cam. If you get this unit, and there's a part for it as well, and I'll get you that part number. I'll post it on there. And there's a rear camera. I'll give you that part number too, which will give you that cool capabilities of recording while you're driving and stuff like that. So you have your dash cam, you don't have to buy another one. What radio does that? Not many. A few brands, but not many. Okay, what else it has on here? It also does before and after, which gives you the look of what the factory 8-inch versus the 9-inch, which is really good. So you get a general idea. When we get to that point, we'll talk about it as well, because I'll show you the before and after. It also shows you that it's got CarPlay on it and Android Auto, and also has the mic setup, which has dual mics. If you decide to go to the external mic, there's an external mic. It's called the AC-IC20, which allows you to do multiple, I should say, it has a really good looking mic, really cool. I'll share that with you as well. So that's what you see on the outside of the box. Okay, so now let's look what's on the inside of the box. So you're going to get some warranty stuff or some instructions in multiple languages. Tells you somewhat a manual and a tool. Has a warranty and a tech support card in the box. As you can see, it's packaged well. It's got foam on the outside. It's got the screen here with all the connections. So your screen's right here and in plastic. It's well protected, as you can see. It also has an external speaker. We'll talk about where that goes, because this is where some of your prompts go. It's also going to have, underneath that foam, it's going to come with an AR module, which will program that too. It's also going to come with the accessories and harness in the box. So as you can see, it's packaged really, really, really well. Which is pretty cool when you think about it. You know, everything's there in the box. You can see everything is protected. You got the screen here. You got all the accessories. You got your RR module, which allows you to program a card on the side and all the harnesses of that box. It also has, we can open up this box here. It says this is the accessories. Let's see what's in the accessory box. So you're going to have all the connectors, USB. I'm sorry, that's the SIM card harness. This is going to have the USB. There's another USB. It's going to have the RCA pre-outs. It's going to have 4 pre-out RCAs in their label, front and rear, left and right. You also have, on this connector here, you see the steering wheel control. You won't need that, but when you do need it, it'll plug in from the iData link harnesses. It's going to have here, ooh, it actually comes with the mic in the box. That's a shocker. Not for me, but it's pretty cool. You have the built-in, you actually have the microphone. It comes in the box. So don't believe the box. The option actually is given to every brand. So we're pretty cool on that. So that's pretty dope. The mount for that. Then you're going to have the Wi-Fi antenna, which is this antenna here. And then you're going to have the 4G antenna, and you're going to have, these are the 4G stuff. So it just mounts inside the vehicle. We'll figure out a home for that real quick. That's not that complicated. Actually, it's antenna, so we got to put it in a position where it can pick it up. So that's everything in the accessory box. What else does it come with? So this is going to be the Maestro stuff. So that's going to have the T harness that plugs in to the radio itself. It's also going to have a powered antenna, which all you do is make a connection for that and powers in through the antenna. It's going to have the plug for the OB2 plug, so this is going to plug in, and you can hardwire this. In this particular case, we're going to plug it in. We're going to clean these wires up, and we're going to allow that to plug in. So it also has the CAN bus wires, because there's CAN bus wires on there as well. This is going to be the T harness that Idalink provides, which allows you to plug in for the mic. So even if the car had a factory mic, looks like it has a plug for that, but we'll test that too. It's also got the camera input wires here that plug in for the backup camera and the cargo camera, if it has that option. Now, as of right now, I know that they're going to release a interface that allows you to retain the factory camera. Right now, it doesn't support it, but there is going to be an interface that allows you to plug in to give you the option to retain the factory camera. So as of today, this is not going to be hooked up as far as cameras go. Okay, and then you're going to have the adapter that plugs into the factory mini plug that allows you to use the factory USB. Then you're going to have the aux input adapter too, so you can plug an aux into this unit too. So that's all the external adapters on this device that come from Maestro in their harnesses. So we're going to check it out. We're going to get it all wired up. We're going to pull it apart. There's really not much you're going to have to take apart in this car. I mean, there's a few things if you really want to get super high tech on it that you can do some cool stuff on, but when it comes down to it, we're really not going to do too many crazy things because we want to make it simple. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. You see what's in the box: microphone, harnesses, T harnesses, plug-in stuff, allow you to stuff like that. Plugs into the factory stuff like that. Plugs in so you can use the Vinland harness or into their T harness, which is nice, so you don't have to cut anything. So I'm looking forward to this. We do have to program this, which I'll kind of give you the information on how to do that, because there's going to be a serial number on the device in the unit. See, it has a model number here. So we'll see how this works out, and we'll go from there. Nine-inch, nice. Let's go see what it looks like in the vehicle. So that's the 8.4. That's the 9-inch. Man, that's a difference. Can't wait to pull it in. So we're gonna get this thing apart, and I'll tell you what's involved in taking it apart and putting it back together, and move on from there. So there's a couple things. I brought in the harnesses. So this is the CAN bus wire, and they give you two different connections for the CAN bus, because generally everything's going to wind up here. Okay, so there's one that gives you one that plugs into the OB2 plug. I'm not going to use this one because that would allow me to run it from down the dash and plug into OB2. That will take it away from the customer if he wanted to use it for any reason. You only need one of them. So we're just going to wrap this one up, save it for a rainy day, and we're going to do the other options. Okay, the other option is this piece, and the only reason I chose to go this route is because in this case this is going to plug in behind the glove box. Okay, and the reason why I chose to do that is I'm thinking of how much work I got to do. So we also got to put a speaker in here. It comes with a piece of double-sided tape on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the glove box. I'm going to put this mount in the glove box area in the top, and I'll show you where that goes. And I'm going to plug this CAN bus wire into there and run it up. Now, like I said, if you're like me, you could test the tape. In this case, I'm not going to test the tape it so you get a general idea for the normal people out there. But we're going to work and pull this glove box out, and then we're going to go in that direction and show you how that goes together, or comes apart, I should say. So it's really simple. We're going to make sure that we're going to remove the glove box, and there's a little clip on the side here that you just push up and pull it out. It should come right out. Might be a little snug. Come right out. And then there's your release tab on the top here, as you can see, and the glove box should come right out. At this point, and I'll show it to you a little bit closer, you should be able to see a green connector. That is the CAN bus connector for the car as well. So we could plug into there and run that wire up. So I'm going to mount the speaker and put it in place, and then I'm going to plug that CAN bus connector in, and then I'll show you that once I get to that point. So we're going to basically take this speaker here, and there's a location up here in the top corner that's flat. You may or may not be able to see it when I'm done, but I'm going to stick this in there. I'm going to stick it in here. There's a flat surface. It's almost like it's made for that. And I'm going to fish this back up in here, which you can do it by hand. You don't have to do anything major. You can actually physically do it with your hand. And that cable is physically ran, not complicated. Then we're going to take this CAN bus wire here, and if you notice that all the CAN bus connectors are actually populated, no problem. It has an actual Y on it, so you literally have to plug it in like so. You can plug it in any spot, doesn't matter. This is a distribution bar, so you can plug it in, whether it be the front side or the back side, doesn't matter. You can wire this wire up in here like so. You get really tricky like this here. And then I'm gonna run this wire up in here like this, and you can physically see it. Okay. I can physically touch it, but I'll run in the same spot where I ran the actual other piece through, because I can feel it, and there's enough area. So we got a mic to put in too, and those are the only external connections that we really need to make. Everything else should be here. So we got a microphone, their noise canceling microphone. We're going to put it up here, somewhere in this location here. That way it works really good, and then we're going to run it this way. We are going to pull this off, which is not complicated. We're going to take a screw out here. So as you can see, I did pull the actual visor down to clip it all in. So literally that was a Allen to remove these 3 screws. They're the same size. And then I literally pulled that apart. And so when I'm all said and done, that's what those zip ties I actually pulled out of the bag that I use. I'm going to tighten up all this stuff here physically and then put it back together once everything's tested. And these clips here, I'm going to pull out obviously with a clip remover and then put them all back in with the screws once everything's in the car and tested. As you can see, everything's physically here now at this point. We just got to plug in the antenna, we got to plug in the radio, and we have to program it. So it's a little hot today, so we'll plug all the stuff in, we'll go from there. So like I said, this is the antenna here that plugs in. You shouldn't necessarily need the connector for the FM. Everyone I've tried always worked. The things you want to plug into the radio before you install it, if you're going to use the aux, you can plug it in the aux connector. So you got rear left and right, front rear left and right. You're going to have the I want to say that is sub out on here. Then you have the aux in. Then you're going to have the camera inputs. You have a digital. You have the mic plug on here, which the mic plugs in there. You got the optical out here, which is pretty cool. And then you're going to have the RCA outs for tweeter, mid, and left with steering wheel controls. You won't necessarily need that because that doesn't plug in there. So we don't necessarily need these because we're not using them. Always save them and put them in the box for the customer. This is going to plug into the car because this is the USB 2. The USB 1 is for the camera, for the storage device. So you could plug it in here, and if the customer decides to plug in the front camera option, you can, or you can leave it unplugged. The customer's not using it, so I'm going to unplug it for this case. It'll free up me some space. And then we're going to have just the Wi-Fi. Now, if the customer doesn't use 4G, you don't have to plug it in. I'm going to plug it in and leave it in there and tie it up. And then you're going to have all the connections. So you got antenna, and then you're going to have the GPS antenna plugs here. So everything else is pretty much simple. All we got to do is plug it into the Maestro and get the RR itself to register on the car, and that's it. So let me do that. Let me program it. I'll show you. The program is not hard. I won't carry too much into that, and then we'll plug it all in, show you what the wire looks like behind the radio, and then go from there. All right. So I made a video, and I hadn't put it out yet. So I'm making another video of the back end of that video. So if it looks like I'm wearing something different or my hair is different, it's because of that. So we finished up this Jeep. We did a total front camera for the dash. We did a total rear camera for the rear. And then we put in a prototype reverse camera for the Jeep JL. And it turned out pretty good. So let me just show you what the wire looks like. It's not crazy, it's not put back in, but I just pulled it out so we can look at it. We also did some testing. So you're gonna have your T-harness that plugs in, plugs right into there, plugs into the factory one. This is the actual backup camera that plugs into the red connector coming off the factory one, and that launches the factory camera. You're going to have a harness that plugs all the way down there, down behind the glove box, with a speaker that plugs into the CAN bus connector. This is going to have a plug for the backup camera there. This T-harness here is for the front and rear camera, so those are still active. There's a USB in the glove box, so all the memory is stored on the USB. The GPS antenna is attached here. I didn't mount it, but I shouldn't say GPS. This is the actual Wi-Fi antenna. So that's not a problem. You can use the Wi-Fi antenna there, no problem. We have the Maestro harness, Maestro piece here. We have a Velcro on the back of the dash. It was back there. And then we have the harness that plugs in. This particular plug, eventually, I think is going to be on a harness for the Jeep. But for now, we just hardwired it in. So I'll put it all in there. So none of the plugs here from the Meteor will work because A, it's wireless CarPlay. So we'll plug all this back in, push everything back in the dash, get everything situated, and then work from there. And I'll show you how to pair up CarPlay. So let's pair a phone up to this radio. So we're going to go into the phone settings. I had it paired up earlier, so let's just delete this. So we're going to go to the phone settings here. Phone. We're going to hit phone first, and then we're going to search for available devices. There's phones in here already. So It sees my phone, but it's probably because it was paired up before. So let's pair it up. Allow. Oh, it's there. So it's there. And then you want to make sure that your phone is connected with the music and all that stuff streaming on it. And what I'll do, if you go here to CarPlay should start to kick in. And then you get that green spinny thing, and then it's going to ask you for connection. You're going to hit yes. And sometimes it takes longer or shorter time depending on what's going on. The first initial time is always fun. Then it's going to pair up on its own. Like I said, this is never quick like you would think it is, but in this case it is. There. So now we got CarPlay on screen. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it's quicker, but you just let it go through the process and it'll work. And I can stream music through here. I can get back to the radio features here. I can go to AM, FM radio here. Your back button gets you all the other stuff, gives you all your inputs. Like I said, I just updated this unit. So it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This car system's done. It's actually paired to the Wi-Fi, so Google Maps will show up and tells me where I'm at. And that's a wrap. So, and Vinland radio for Jeep JL JK